Welcome to Truth in Lending, America's coolest, hippest mortgage and real estate news podcast.
Heck yeah.
Today's show is all about short-term rentals and second homes. Is it too late to get into the game, or is it all just hullabaloo?
I think it's too late.
Find out why we're not racing out to buy a short-term rental anytime soon. Well, hey, you may have noticed Katie is back from the other side of the planet. And also, Greg showered today.
Yeah. I did. I'm feeling clean.
There are
Smells
so
nice
many
in the
things
garage.
to celebrate today on Truth in Lending. Today is July 10th, 2023. Welcome to Truth in Lending. Welcome
we are.
back.
Welcome back to the fellow listeners that keep listening.
Yes. And welcome
to
back,
the new
Katie.
Ones. Oh, yes. Hi.
This is kind of a big deal. I'm super stoked that you're back.
I know. It's been 2 whole weeks.
Wow, it feels
That's
like
it?
a lot longer than that.
Yeah, I was only gone 10 days. So
Whoa. Felt longer.
you guys just got 2 episodes in without me.
Greg was so
think
sad
you're
that you were
enjoying
here.
it.
He's like, these are the longest shows of my life.
He's like, Randy,
Please
stop talking. I
don't.
can't even say anything.
I got a few words in. We did good.
you got more words than you. We'll give you more time.
Yeah, so let's talk about second homes and short-term rentals, you guys.
Let's do it.
What is a short-term rental?
A short-term rental. Oh, Greg, I think you can answer this.
Short-term rental is a rental that is 30 days or less.
Oh.
30 days or less. Okay.
Yeah.
And what is a second home?
Second home is a second home that you live in 10 days a year?
At least.
No,
I don't
we'll
think
get
that's
into that
correct.
later. That's not.
I think it's at least 2 weeks
Yeah.
out of
2
the
weeks,
year.
yeah.
So short-term rental services
Very
like
vague.
what VRBO, Verbo, Airbnb, Vacasa, there's many other ones out there that we haven't listed. But
Yeah.
short-term rentals, I mean, anytime I go to the coast, anytime I go anywhere, I don't really like to stay in hotels anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think short-term rentals have been great.
Yep.
Yeah.
We didn't do any short-term rentals in Bali, but it's a nice option.
You know what I
definitely a lot
prefer
over there.
You know what I prefer over a hotel, or a hotel over like a short-term rental?
When?
The beds. I feel like so many people in short-term rentals, the beds are
Skim.
just
They
they
skim.
skim.
It's true.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
let's go to Hobby Lobby and slap some stuff up on the walls and
Yeah, there's so many short-term rentals that are just like
yeah.
the sticker floor panels or anything. You know
Go
what
to
I
the
mean? It's like, don't look
$99
under the
mattress
curtain.
factory and yeah.
Yeah. It's been a lot of old homes that have just been painted and they creak and
Yeah.
they don't work very well.
Yeah.
The
But
last
it's
one I stayed in, the
it's a
power
place to
went out.
sleep in. I think that's
Yeah.
like the whole theme with going on vacation is that you're really only needing your place to sleep because otherwise you're exploring the area. And
That's right.
So
So the legal definition, Greg, if you will, of a second home is a property that one occupies for a minimum of 2 weeks per year.
ooh,
So it was very popular in recent years as these short-term rental companies
specifically
were coming
2020 and 2021.
right, to buy second homes. Like, yeah, we live at the coast for minimum of 2 weeks out of the year, and then the rest of the time we'll rent it out and make a bunch of cash.
Yep. And
So-
interest rates were the same.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, second home interest rates, down payment requirements were a little bit different. You'd only had to have 10% down to buy a second home, which is still the case. However, the loan level price adjustments are a little bit ridiculous.
Yep. Very, very high now. They're the
Yeah.
same as investment properties. So
Yeah.
it is very unattractive.
Mm-hmm.
So just in, when was that? January 2022. So yeah,
Right.
up until 2022 came along. That's when they changed those LLPAs. So, and identical to the investment properties. So
We are
it's-
going to put a stop to your fun.
Yeah.
That's what Fannie and Freddie
I thought you
said.
were yelling at me.
No more fun will be had.
yeah. Yeah. No more buying all these properties.
Yeah.
Yeah. And back in April, USA Today reported that second home mortgage applications are down 52% from pre-pandemic levels compared to primary resident loans, which are down 13%.
Yeah. So all loans are down. Yeah. Makes sense. But specifically the second homes.
Second home loan applications are down 52% from
And there were-
pre-pandemic. However, year over year, Redfin came out with a study just a couple of weeks ago that second home applications are up 128% from this time last year.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
It feels conflicting to me.
I feel like there was a lot of times that people wanted to buy an investment property and you could say, well, do you plan to be there, right? Are you going to use it for your own personal use? That makes sense. Now you can get a lower interest rate with this option. So second home is actually what you're asking for. So that was an easy one that, of course, applications are going to look like they're higher on the second home. But then now I almost feel like people are wanting that investment property, but having a lower down payment option is more significant. And so I think that's probably what's driving those.
Yeah,
What do you think?
and I mean, cash cow, right? Mm-hmm. Cash cow, second home. I've heard so many people, and I have not gotten into the second home business. Okay,
Yeah.
I have not. Well, excuse me. It's not that I've not gotten into the second home business. I have not gotten into the short-term rental business.
Yeah.
But I've heard some people are just like, yeah, my mortgage is $2,000 a month, and
I rent it out
during
10
ski
days a
season, I'm
week.
making $6,000 a month. It's so great, man. I don't have to do anything. I can go to coffee. I can do all these things, and it's just like, man, did I miss the boat? I feel like I might have.
Maybe, but also you have to take care of it. I think you're going to go into that later, but I always think about the fact that I don't want to change bed sheets every time someone stays over for a 2-night stay.
Greg, do you want to change bed sheets?
No,
No,
not at all.
Yeah. Seems like a hassle.
It does kind of
But
seem like
maybe
a hassle,
but maybe it
doesn't
pays.
it?
Maybe it
I don't
pays.
know,
Well,
maybe.
the property management for short-term rentals is expensive also.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do it and have someone else do it, you're looking at 25, 35%.
Hey,
Yeah.
there's a cost of everything, man. There just is. So let's talk about some pros and cons.
But first, if you have a beach house,
Yeah.
we'll come.
Can I stay there?
Yeah, just let us know if you have a short-term rental that you want us to check out and give our feedback on.
You've been cut off. Ooh. Welcome
right,
to
Randy.
Randy's room.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, this is the best music ever. You guys got your own, but it's not as good as this one. So let's talk about the pros and cons of having a second home. You can put it into a rental pool, right? So you can have, places like Airbnb, Vrbo, Vacasa, some of these other ones, rent it out. There are certain communities, like in our little community, our neck of the woods here, Sun River has its own rental pool where they manage all of the second home short-term rentals. You can't really put it into a swimming pool, but if you have a swimming pool, you can charge more. So that's good. You can write off short-term rental expenses on your taxes, on your Schedule E. Fancy that. It's treated just like a long-term rental, and there's a little box that says rented for how many days of the year. So you get all of those fancy write-offs, your taxes, your insurance, if you've got a mortgage, your mortgage interest, if you had to replace the roof or you had to do any of those things, you get all these wonderful write-offs.
Tax advantages.
Yeah. You can also use short-term rental income for qualifying with a minimum of a 2-year history on the property.
Yes.
So one of the cons being,
Year and a half? Nope.
nope, you cannot use
Year and
short-term rental
3/4?
income
Nope.
to qualify. Whereas buying an investment property or a long-term rental, LTR, I've abbreviated it. I like abbreviations, allows you to use 75% of the income.
Yep.
So people who are buying a short-term rental can buy it as a long-term rental or buy it as an investment property, right? You don't have to buy it as a second home. You can buy it as an investment property, and the appraiser is going to fill out the appraisal rent, the market rent analysis, and you can use 75% of that number to offset the mortgage. So you can help use it to qualify that way. But if you're buying it as a second home, you don't get to use any of those rents.
Yep.
question for you. STR income qualifying with 2-year history. What if it's an already established STR?
Nope.
Has to be with the new owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because
No
if you think
can do.
about it, which I'm sure, if someone's asking that question for a client, how I would
Yeah.
answer that is you might not run your business as a short-term rental the same
Right.
way as the previous person has. So it's impossible to say that is going to be passed on.
Makes
Winner.
sense.
Winner.
Very nice.
So, Fannie and Freddie don't want us to have any fun, right? So they are way behind on
Fun
this.
killers.
They are fun killers.
Fun police.
They are the fun police. Yeah, and we are gonna find out later in Katie's segment as to why perhaps Fannie and Freddie are late to the game. We're not there yet. So here's a
We're not
pro
there.
and a con on short-term rentals. They're subject to seasonality. You know, here in Central Oregon, big ski town, but also big summer town. People love to come float the river and come to, go see the concerts, and
For
depending
those
on
shoulder
what,
seasons.
right. And, when kids go back into school, you're not renting it out every night for $300, $500, $800 a night. So you are subject to seasonality. There is a higher frequency of maintenance. Greg's going to come over to your house and change your sheets,
But he's
10
gonna charge
times.
you for it.
Yeah, 10 or 12 times a month. So, you've got to do that. You've got cleaning. And instead of cleaning just a hotel room, right, there's a whole house to clean. So you've got cleaning fees, lots of expenses, which you can write off on your taxes. And there's less recourse with a short-term rental, versus a long-term rental.
What do you mean by that?
So what I mean by that is, someone comes to your short-term rental and they have a party and things get out of hand, right? You haven't established a relationship with that person. Whereas with a tenant, you may have established a relationship. They may have been there longer. You've got a bigger deposit, right? Sometimes you got first, last, and security deposit. And with a short-term rental, a lot of times there's just that $500 deposit.
Yeah. Less recourse with a short-term rental?
I say less recourse with a short-term rental. Yeah. I don't know. I could be wrong. That's just my opinion, but it should be yours.
I've heard that before.
Let's talk about, so with a second home, right? Interest rates and LLPAs are now basically dollar for dollar the same as buying an investment property. So why would I ever buy it as a second home anyways?
Yeah.
Now, my wife and I had this discussion. And she said, if we buy a second home, it's a second home. We are not renting it out.
You don't want someone sleeping in your bed.
In our bed. We're going to buy a nice mattress. Yeah. We're going to buy a real mattress.
Where I was going with that.
We're not going to go buy Hobby Lobby. We're going to put real things on the walls. And no offense to Hobby Lobby.
If you want to sponsor us, you can.
So higher interest rates, higher loan costs, bigger down payment requirements. You've also got to have a certain amount of reserves. Fannie and Freddie still are saying 2 months reserves for PITI for second homes, 6 months reserves for investment properties. So depending on how you fill out your application, those things do matter.
They matter.
They do matter. And that
for you lenders, make sure you know that.
Yeah. So, Greg, my music is so much better than yours.
I love this music.
I think this is
fantastic.
Is great. I think you're vetoed.
Yeah, sorry, Randy.
Mine is so intense. This is so jovial and happy.
Yeah.
I love it. Is
So-
that bad?
No, it's great. It fits your
He's just a
personality.
dark cloud in
Yeah.
this room.
So, what have you
Speaking
got
of dark
in your
clouds,
garage?
We're on YouTube if you want to see the dark cloud over Randy's head.
How can you find us on YouTube?
It's at Truth and Lending Podcast.
All right, so
Just
that's easy
search
to
it-
remember.
Search it at YouTube.
Yeah.
You might have heard of it before.
Tired of listening to this and want to watch us on camera? Check us out on YouTube.
I gotta start trimming the beard up a little bit better.
Gosh,
Yeah.
you do.
But at least you showered today.
I did. I'll probably shower later too.
Take it away, Greg.
Well, since we're talking about second homes, short-term rentals, all that kind of fun stuff, I wanted to talk about, the rules and regulations with it. Prices in certain markets in the country are going up and down. Some up, some down, as I said. But each local area is different. And understanding your local market is very important. What's going on, prices and all that, but also understanding rules and regulations.
Yeah.
Short-term rentals change from county to city, and it's all
Makes
very
such a
different.
big difference on what you can charge for a house too. Anything with like a ADU here or anywhere, I'm sure, they just immediately jack up as long as they can be used as a short-term rental.
Yeah, and that's huge. Here, a lot of short-term rentals are not passed on to the new buyer as well, so they have to reapply.
Which is new. That was like a newer change. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's made it really difficult for a lot of people to continue short-term renting. It's also making transactions just really difficult or conversations with people. So
I love all the disclaimers that just say buyer to do due diligence.
yeah, we see that a lot more now.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. You find out.
Yeah. And
So
just,
give us an example.
yeah, great example. So we were under the rule of you can't have a short-term rental permit within 250 feet of each other. But recently, about 3-4 months ago, they increased that to 500 feet. So they're really trying to reduce the amount of short-term rentals.
Yeah.
And it's always changing. There's cities out on the coast, for example, they allow 75 short-term rental permits in the city.
Whoa.
So
That's it.
yeah,
Okay.
nothing more. So it's a
Sucks to be
lot of
number
due diligence
76.
that comes into it.
Wow.
And I wanted to just mention, as a loan officer, since we have some of those listening, very important to understand some of these rules and regulations so
Yeah.
that you can be the trusted advisor for your realtor partners.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up too. It's a good conversation starter. If you're
Mm-hmm.
in an area that isn't Central Oregon and you didn't just learn a lot more than you expected to,
Right.
reach out to your real estate agent and get a
Mm-hmm.
meeting with them. Of course, always something that we want to do, but it's also really valuable for you to have that information so that you can pass it on for your clients.
So that
Yeah.
500-foot rule. So it's if you're already pre-existing, you're grandfathered in. I'm assuming, right?
Yep.
So do you have to go out there? Is the city of Bend going to go out with a tape measure and make sure that they're exactly 500 feet? And where is it measured from? Is it measured from? Yeah. Is it measured from corner to corner, from the front of the lot or the back of the lot?
I'm pretty sure it was lot lines from the lot lines, but
So many rules. Everybody's just trying to take
Fun,
away my
please.
fun. I just don't
not
understand
fun.
how much fun I like to
Ben's a
have.
fun city. Everyone wants to come
It
here.
is. Katie, we're so glad that you're back because I'm starving.
Oh,
I know
let me
Greg's
cook
hungry.
some-
I know.
Cook up some things.
Yeah, can you make?
I was so confused.
Can
Come
you-
on into
can
my
you make-
kitchen.
can
Let
you
me
make
talk
us
to you a
something in
little
your
bit about
kitchen?
some Airbnb pot pie.
Ooh.
oh,
And I'm terrible at cooking, so it's a
Yeah,
the,
you don't
the
want-
pot pie is just deflating.
No,
just
Ka-
like
yeah.
the Airbnb market.
Katie's
right?
Katie's kitchen is literally just
am I
for look.
reaching?
There's yeah.
I'm just reaching right now.
I'm pretty sure it's one of those department store fake box dishwashers and
Yes.
stoves in
It's
your
all just
house.
in there.
It's all
Don't
just,
open that. Don't touch that.
The fridge doesn't really work.
So you guys probably heard about the Airbnb revenue, the collapse that's coming in the housing market. This Twitter post, and so I clipped it at least for us to see. But it's showing like the big city, the metro cities are really starting to see this huge revenue decline. So Phoenix and Austin were the ones that were highlighted, having a 47% drop in the revenue.
What?
And when I first read this, I was like, this makes perfect sense that if a lot of people are just really losing money, they're in addition to potentially losing jobs, in addition to cost of living going up, there's going to be a lot of sales that are hitting the market. And if the inventory suddenly sees this surge, we're going to see house prices change. Like in my mind, that made perfect sense. So I totally bought into the headline and I brought it up in a conversation. I was like, I'm kind of nervous about this. I want to look into it more. I haven't gotten a chance to.
No
So, of course-
freaking way.
Yeah, looking into this more, there was immediately other Twitter trolls that were like, hold on, here's the actual data. So this is sources from All the Rooms, which specifically only uses Airbnb.
Okay.
And so what they looked at is called AirDNA, which covers VRBO and some other Vacasa, I'm sure. And so it was a drastically different. It was like less than 2% of a decline. But of course, when you're looking at year over year, the revenue has gone down.
Sure.
That's for certain. But I think, the concern that we're going to see this immediate inventory spike, it's so typical for all of the headlines that we see that are just like, wait to buy, the housing market's going to crash soon. And so you're going to get a lot of clients that are probably pushing back. Like,
I'm gonna wait until rates go down.
yeah, I'm just going to wait. I know that the Airbnb thing is coming up.
Just
So-
gives them another feather in their cap to wait.
Yeah, so making sure that
And miss out.
you understand it too. Some things that I kind of dove into. One thing is that there's a lot of homes that, of course, are personal homes or second homes or are just a room that is up for Airbnb. So keeping that in mind, a lot of people aren't going to immediately sell their house because they're getting less money. They're just going to get less money. It's going to go closer to the recession.
So I noticed a thing that you don't have in your kitchen, but I'd like to bring it.
Hold on, I'm not done yet.
Oh, sorry.
The other thing is that you can just turn it into a long-term rental. So I think a lot of people are going to just turn homes into long-term rentals if they keep seeing that decline in income.
Yeah.
And
And rents have gone up, so why not?
yeah, yep, that's still going to be a thing.
Yeah.
It might actually decrease the rental price pool, which is a good thing. But the second thing is that the people that it's really affecting are those people that got into the Airbnb or the short-term rentals late in the game, right? That have these really high interest rates and then are seeing the income decline. So what they were expecting to get as income to qualify for it isn't there, even if they didn't qualify based on that income, of course, as we all know. But when you're assuming that much income, that makes a big difference. But I think the big thing is the time frame for it. I don't think we're going to see every single Airbnb house hit the market at the same time. So I think that's an easy one to explain to your clients that, well, even if this did happen, it's going to be over the trajectory of 1 to 2 years before people actually start selling their homes because they feel that pain.
They're not just going to be a massive crash.
Right.
All of a sudden, all at once.
Not all at once. All right, go ahead and interrupt me now.
Oh, man. I even got the wink. Don't you ever do that again. No,
wink to
so
everyone.
I also on the Twitter sphere, I saw some data that said there are now more, and it's in the line is inverted. There are now more short-term rentals than there are available homes to purchase on the market nationwide. Right? And so they've always sort of danced with each other, and now there are more than there are houses for sale.
Yeah.
So that could further soften the short-term rental market. What is your advice to me? I want to go buy a short-term rental. I want to get in the game. Maybe I'm a little bit late. But what is your advice?
Wait until rates get lower.
How about this? Cash only.
Cash. Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Really, though,
Yeah.
I think long-term rentals make sense. Short-term rentals just don't make sense right now, especially seeing Airbnb, VRBO, Vacasa, all these additional costs that they're adding to things. Like, it makes more sense to rent a hotel right now because the cost of the cleaning fee, the $250 cleaning fee, plus the taxes, plus you have to have a 3-night minimum stay. It's like you're seeing the costs just continually increase on short-term rentals, which is fair. There's a lot of advantages that you get with it, but hotels are becoming more competitive because they're able to be a little more transactional.
Do either of you have any horror stories from staying in an Airbnb?
Oh,
I'm gonna put you on.
You had that
I'm
one.
gonna put you on the spot. We just stayed back in April for my wife's birthday. We stayed on the Oregon coast in a brand new house right on the beach. Very expensive, very fancy.
You're so fancy.
Mice,
Oh no.
mouses, plural mouse, and they were dying because they clearly knew they had a mouse's problem. And so they had been poisoning them, and the mice were coming out at night and dying
All over the house.
all over the house.
Oh my God.
I have pictures to prove it.
That's so gross.
Brand new house.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's a horror story. I cannot top that.
We did not get our money back.
No way.
No. So,
Discount?
Nothing.
No, but we left little mouses' carcasses all over the house for them to find.
As you should.
That's
Yeah.
so gross.
Yeah, we just kind of had to step around them.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't have anything related to that.
And
Fun times.
we haven't done this one in a while
Yeah.
because there's not
Premia.
a whole lot of people to lose since
Premia Relocation Mortgage
we have lost so many people.
was acquired by Guaranteed Rate.
Yep,
Hadn't heard of them.
yeah, yep,
Zillow Closing Services shuttered layoffs.
yeah.
Look at
Wow,
that.
you're just gonna read anything that's put right in front of you, aren't you? Great?
Pretty much, yeah.
This is great. Comerica is the latest to exit the warehouse lending. Of course, we know Home Point was the big one that was acquired by the loan store,
Yeah.
and they have also exited. But other than that,
Better.com, layoffs
Not-
in the real estate division. I haven't heard Better.com in a long time. That feels good.
right? Oh, hey, don't forget, you can find us on YouTube
Heck yeah, come check us out.
at Truth and Lending Podcast.
I'm a little more tan.
You can also message us on Instagram at Truth and Lending Podcast.
And I'll also be at the Forward Academy. I didn't bring that up earlier, but
Yeah.
the Forward Academy with Neil Home Neil's Home, I think is his Instagram. So if you're planning to head there, hit me up. Let me know. I would love to meet up with you. We can chat.
Would
Chat
you?
lending news.
All right.
So fun.
That sounds like a blast. Sounds like a blast. This show puts me to
We
sleep
can, we
at
can
night.
also drink if that's more up your alley.
That's why I listen to the show. So I have a reason to sleep at night.
You have to escape this nightmare sometimes.
All right, potato heads. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun.
Till next week.